My coworker with the same dick joke from Call of Duty because I was looking up like the tier list,
I tried to
and he's
find
like,
it yesterday on Twitch, but I was so angry at you. You don't understand how upset. Because, okay, to preface, me and Tony sat there and planned that Rams dick joke on you
yeah,
for like an hour, 2 hours at work. Finally, I managed to bring it up, and then Tony went with it perfectly, and then we got you with it, and it was
it was
great.
good. It was good.
And then you do this.
What should I? Because I gotta get headshots with ARs. What's a good AR to use?
What do you... Oh, you have everything unlocked. I
I don't. The ones I don't have are the Ball and the one from the, what's it called? The Battle Pass.
really like the Model L. It's my favorite AR.
What about the one below it?
The Goblin. It's okay.
Goblin,
The,
these
honestly,
nuts?
nice.
That's all. That's all I want to do it for.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yep. You're good. That was solid.
Also, that was like no effort because I just see AR and I'm like, oh, let me look at the ARs, and I didn't know that was the name.
The
of it.
problem
I really
was
didn't.
the problem was it was so good that I was so angry that I never thought of it.
How has none of us noticed that one?
We'll call that my Christmas gift to you, Ben, is me allowing you to get me with a dick joke like that, because I'm never letting that fucking happen again. I'm the king of the dick jokes, not you.
You're the king of the dick jokes. Anyways,
yes. Anyways, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to Nick's Picks. It is week 17 and it is Christmas Day. I am going to be posting this on Christmas Day. Me and Ben are recording this on Christmas Eve. So Merry Christmas, Ben. And Merry Christmas to all of you out there watching today. And I appreciate anybody taking time out of their Christmas Day to watch Nick's Picks. We do have a couple of Christmas Day games today. We have a recap to go through, obviously. We got a bunch of other stuff to go through, but we're going to try to make this quick so it's not a super long video, A, so I don't have to edit too much, and B, so that you guys aren't taking too much out of your Christmas. But, Ben, how are you doing? It is Christmas, and we're here.
I was like, I'm off today, so like we're doing this like normally we record.
I
like,
was not.
when I get home. Well, you only work like a half day, so like that's still not.
It was,
or no.
and it was a frustrating half day. Let me just, I'll put it like that. But Nick's Picks is back for week 17, and last week I had a 4-point lead, and we only had 2 differs, and we split. You know, stop me if you heard that one before. We split. So I would assume you are at 167 now, putting me at 171, because I know I'm at 171, but I'm just assuming that math would put you at 167. Oh, you fucked up again, didn't you? This is every week. Ben does this every week. He fucks up. Simple math. It's +1. It is +1 point for every pick he gets right, one at a time, and he fucks it up every week. Watch it. I'd be the one that fucked it up. Hang on. You only had 11 points last week. I had 11 points last week. 172, 168. Your current score in Nick's Picks. A lot harder than it needed to be, but we got there. Let's get to the recap, just so we can get straight into this. It started with our first differ of the week. It was the Broncos and Chargers, and for the first half of this game, it looked very good for me. Very bad for you.
I was nervous. And
then what the fuck happened to Denver after that? They decided to choke. Yeah, they charged for the rest of that game. Chiefs went on to beat the Texans. Patrick Mahomes did end up playing in this game, and he played pretty well. Honestly, Houston played pretty well. Prayers out to Tank Dell. Hopefully it doesn't take him too long to get back, but that's at least a year.
Oh, but yeah, he's done next year minimum, I think.
The Ravens did go on to beat the Steelers and I think take full control of the AFC North. I would have to fact check on that.
It has the Steelers technically above them,
so they might own the tiebreaker then. Okay, so we still firmly believe that the Ravens should win the AFC North, whether or not it happens. You know, schedule will determine that. But Ravens did go on to beat the Steelers. Our game was, I mean, at least your offense showed up. You know, there was more points put up by Atlanta alone than I thought was going to be scored combined in this game. Shout out to
Commander.
Shout out to Drew Lock. He knows the assignment. He understands what the Giants are striving for this season, and he is playing that part well.
I love seeing Brian Dabo, like absolutely look like he despises Drew Lock, but Drew Lock, like you said, he understands the assignment. You guys are in, I think, full control in getting the #1 pick. What you do with that pick, we'll see what happens.
I feel like at this point it's Sanders or Ward.
I feel like Ward's gonna be a better
I
fit.
would prefer Ward, but I'm not even. I mean, I just watched Syracuse beat Ward, so like
he comes back to New York with.
The Rams went on to beat the Jets. The Eagles actually lost to the Commies. Jalen Hurts got his bell rung in the middle of this game. And honestly, I watched the first half of this game. Eagles should have been up by fucking 30 if it wasn't for Kenny Pickett looking like Kenny Pickett.
At least the Eagles offense with like Barkley and everything, they can make it work, but I mean, you need him at least for the playoffs.
The Cardinals actually lost to the Panthers in overtime. It's a shocker. I just don't really care. The Bengals went on to beat the Browns. Colts went on to beat the Titans. The Lions went on to beat the Bears. Vikings went on to beat the Seahawks. Bills was a closer game against the Patriots than it should have been, but get the dub nonetheless. The Raiders did go on to beat the Jaguars, so like you said earlier, the Giants do hold full control of that number 1 pick, but like you said, what they do with it, we'll only wait and see. The Dolphins went on to beat the 49ers. We both got that one wrong. The 49ers, I mean, it's been over, but they are just ass this year. That is, I don't know what happened. I don't know why it happened. But
I don't know if it's like injuries. Is it fatigue from like making the playoffs? I don't know.
Kyle Shanahan had a really shit year as a coach. It's like they have a new head coach this year. That's like the best way to describe how the 49ers have played this year.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. I'm wondering, was it because McCaffrey was out for like, what was it, like 3/4 of the year, and like that caused, like, I don't know. I think it's just top down, just a failure. Like, no matter how you look at it.
My stance on running backs and stuff. Their numbers can be elevated by great running backs like Saquon Barkley and Christian McCaffrey and Derrick Henry, but you are only as good as your O-line allows you to be. And Mason was going off those first couple of weeks for the 49ers. True. So I can't sit here and say that just because Christian McCaffrey was gone, they suck. I don't know what happened to the 49ers this year. To be honest, I don't really care. The Bucs did lose to the Cowboys, but I do think the Cowboys did get eliminated officially this week, even with the win over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You let Atlanta into the postseason after this shit show of a year.
After the last month.
Something's wrong. And then the Packers actually shut out the New Orleans Saints last night, ready for a bigger matchup this week that we'll get to in a little bit. But that rounded out Week 16, and like I said, you are still down by 4 points. We only have 2 differs this week, so once again, you don't have a chance of catching up this week. You're going to have to start chiseling away here at some point. The playoffs is where it's really going to be the point swings, because we are upping the points a little bit for the playoffs. It's not going to be as like drastic as we normally do, where like it's 6 points for the final game. You know, it's, you know, we're going to see what happens in the postseason. We get into the Christmas Day games and the rest of the Christmas slate. We only have 2 games that you'll be watching today on Christmas. Then we have a Thursday game. We have 3 Saturday games, whole bunch of Sunday games, and a Monday game. So we lost Ben.
Hang on.
I don't know.
I knew something was up. Hang on. Straight up crashed.
Well, it's a Christmas miracle that we got him back. I want to throw Christmas in there sometime. Let's get into these Christmas Day picks, and boom, our picks are up on the screen for you guys to take a merry little look at. Pause the video. Ben's laughing, so it threw me off. Pause the video to take a look for your special little team and see what we said about them. But these are Christmas Day selections, and beyond Christmas Day, because I'm trying to throw some Christmas cheer into this episode. We start with the Christmas Day games. Is the Steelers going up against the Chiefs, and then the Texans going against the Ravens, and we don't have any differs this week. Honestly, this is kind of like last week, in which we have 2 differs, and one of them's a really good game, and one of them's a really shit game that nobody's going to watch. But yeah, neither of us differ on the Christmas Day games. We do think the Chiefs and the Ravens, both away teams, pull out a win here to start the week. Moving on into Thursday, because I don't know why we're still on a Thursday. I don't know. This schedule is weird this week. The Seahawks are going up against the Bears. It's not all that entertaining of a game. I do think the Seahawks go on to win this one. Insight? No, don't matter. All right, cool.
Not really. It's the Seahawks. Who cares?
We skip Friday, but we have Saturday games because we have 3 of them. The Chargers going up against the Patriots, the Bengals going up against the Broncos, and the Rams going against the Cardinals. No differs in there at all, although I was kind of close to picking the Broncos again, but they fucked me last week. I saw a scenario. I don't know what the exact scenario is, but I saw the Bengals scenario as to how they can make the postseason, and it looked pretty doable.
Somehow, really, but like,
with how the Bengals,
they can make it.
Yeah, with how the Bengals started the season, I didn't think that they would even sniff the playoffs. I have a legitimate chance here, so I went with the Bengals. And then the Rams going up against the Cardinals. The Cardinals have already eliminated themselves. The Rams are still trying to hold on to that NFC West. Rams win that game. Moving into the Sunday games, the game with the most of them, but I mean, there's really not too many Sunday games, or at least not too many good ones. Start with my game, the Giants going up against the Colts. I don't think is going to be interesting at all. I mean, the Colts aren't good at all this year either. either. The Bills going up against the Jets. The Jets aren't that good. Bills are. Hopefully this is a little bit more convincing than their Patriots game last week, but we'll see what it is. We finally get to our first differ of the week, and it is the shit game. The Jaguars and the Titans. Ben going with the home team. I assume just because they're home?
The only reason.
Yeah, okay. I went with the Titans because... I don't know.
And I'm not even gonna fucking touch
Do
this
it.
game.
Do it. Do it.
No.
You know, I kind of want to, but I'm not going to. Bucks going up against the Panthers. That's not our challenge, or not our differ. Do think the Bucks win this game, but Ben, you're rooting pretty hard for the Panthers this week.
I've never thought I'd root for the Panthers so hard in a game than this, because if they lose, and we'll get to Atlanta's game.
Yeah, I don't
but
think
if they
it'll matter
lose,
when we get to Atlanta's game, but...
I mean, true.
The Saints going up against the Raiders. This is another one that we could have differed on because you probably could have picked either team here, and I would have just been like, okay.
The only thing that's funny is that the Saints are the first team, also in week 6, it took 16 weeks for a shutout, and they're the only team to do it this year.
I am shocked the Giants have not done it.
It's not the Raiders, it's not the Jets, it's not any of the teams fighting for like the top 5 picks. It was the Saints.
Eagles going on to play the Cowboys. I think the Eagles going to beat the Cowboys.
I was close picking the Cowboys because I don't know about Hurts, but
I mean,
it's also the Cowboys, so
that is true. But at some point, I do think Kenny Pickett can beat the Cowboys. The Miami Dolphins going up against the Browns. The Dolphins have looked okay towards the end of the season here, so I just kind of went with it.
I looked at the weather for this just to see how cold it was gonna get, and it's like in the 50s.
Oh, okay.
It's in like the 50s, so Tua should be okay.
Okay, all right. That's a big deciding factor. We got to put that out there. Our differ of the week does come down to the Packers and the Vikings. Kind of a fight for the NFC North, except the Lions just probably are going to beat both of them. But this is a pretty important matchup, and because it'll really have to do with who they're going to play in the first round of the playoffs. I went with the Packers. I know they're their away team, but the Vikings haven't lost too many games recently. But it feels to me like the Packers are the hotter team. I'm going with the Packers on this one. They just pitched their first shutout of the season, the only shutout of the season, like you just said. I can see the Vikings winning this game, but I just don't want to put all of my hopes onto Sam Darnold.
It's weird. I saw one thing. It was like Jordan Love in December. I don't know how many times he hasn't done a pick in like last 5 games, and like Darnold has only thrown like I think 1. The Vikings almost clearly won the last matchup if they didn't choke it, and I honestly think that could happen again, where the Vikings are gonna pull away like early and then let the foot off the gas, and the Packers will like try and come back, but it'll be either too late or the Vikings get lucky. That's just how I'm looking at this game.
I would love to hear what Slower has to say about this game, but he's not fucking here. Your game of the week, it is the Sunday night game. The Commies are going up against the Falcons. I mean, in theory, these are two teams. Yeah, these are two teams that are fighting for something. So it is an interesting game.
I will say this: if the Panthers win against the Bucks, if I'm the Commanders, no matter what, you make the playoffs. If you win or lose, you even try in the game, be like, oh well, we can get a win, but like we don't have to win.
They're not going to help you out if that's what you're looking for.
I'm not thinking that either. But they're gonna play to win no matter what. But
I don't know. If the Commies play like the second half of their game last week, the Falcons have no shot. If the Falcons defense plays like they did last week, I think they do have a legitimate shot. But I mean, you're not going to get 2 pick sixes on Jaden Daniels. No. He's too good at completing passes. I think he's still leading the league in completion percentage.
I can't justify enough reasons for even me to convince myself. That's my reasoning.
Finishing out the week with this was the NFC Championship game last year, right?
I know this was like going to be like one of the top matchups, and it's literally so one-sided.
I would be shocked if the 49ers keep this within 10.
I would be shocked if it's within 20.
Well, that's a bit of a stretch, but
I mean, I have it as a 14 point, but like I don't think this is
I don't think this is gonna be a great game. But that ends out week 17. I hope you guys all enjoy the rest of your Christmas day and the rest of the games throughout this whole holiday week going into New Year's. We will be back for New Year's. I honestly haven't even looked at what next week's schedule looks like. Oh good, everybody plays on Sunday next week. Thank God, Ben. We don't even have to record on Tuesday. We can wait. I mean, we'll probably still do it Tuesday. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, that is it for Nick's Picks Week 17. Have a Merry Christmas, everybody. Drop the like on the drop the like on the video. We're going back to last week. Oh God. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell to be ready for whenever Nick's Picks is going to drop next week, because it probably won't be on Thursday. It might be closer to Sunday. So make sure you have that notification bell on so that you get notified when these videos drop. And we will see you guys in week 18. Ben, is there anything you have to say to the people on this Christmas day before we
Merry Christmas. Christmas came early for me with the Saints dropping a goose egg. Honestly, that was my Christmas gift.
Are the Saints losing really like a good thing for you? Like, they're 5-10. They're not going
I
anywhere.
just
So them getting shut out is not okay.
You would love to see that with the Eagles or the Cowboys, wouldn't you? So
yeah, I just don't feel like Falcons Saints is quite the same level as Giants Eagles.
That's fair. I will say that's more. I did see one thing where, like, what if the Eagles purposely lose next week against the Giants just to ruin the Giants draft pick?
Oh, all I want for Christmas is my team to not suck again. I'll take mediocre.
So it'll probably 8-9. We'll probably lose both games.
Peace.
Hey guys.
Merry Christmas.